Alright, so the first location I recommend here is in the Tundra Falls. Here we are on the map location, and here is the GPS coordinates. Now, the main reason I chose this spot is due to the amount of resources that are around it. Now, this place is not really that flat, sadly. It's somewhat flat, but not really. But as you can see here, we've got a lot of wood to deal with. We've also got quite a bit of fiber, but what's really most important is in this lake here is Cecilia pearls. So to get those pearls early on, you'll find a buttload in here. You've also got metal all scattered around this mountain here, so early, easy access to metal. And then, as we go up, I'll give you a bit of overview of where we are. You'll also find, as you can see there, yellow supply drops that locate themselves around this area, which makes it really helpful. And what's also really good about this location is it's a decent spot really out of the entire map, and it's also close to quite a few of the artifacts as well, making it a lot easier for you to get ready to go start doing the Crystal Wildwood boss. Now, right here, I'm going to show you something. So what is highlighted right now on the screen is where 8 oil veins are currently sitting. Now, if you can actually just get there and claim those oil vein spawns, and then your base is here, you not only have access to easy oil, you've got easy pearls, there's also plant X seeds as well down the lake, I forgot to mention. It's basically a really good base location for resource-wise. I'll show you where the rest of the location is, so you can just get an idea. But basically, they're in that lake. You want to go there. That is my #1 recommended spot. So the next location I choose is the White Souls. Now here I am on the map location, and here is the GPS. Now, the main reason why I chose this area is predominantly because it's really flat. It's like 80% flat, and there's like only 20% that isn't flat. So overall, it's a really good location to build if you like having a nice, easy built base. On top of that, it does have a good amount of resources. So within these shores here, you will find Cecilia pearls. Not a lot, but you do find quite a few. It's also got early access to crystal and metal. This is also a great area to hunt down tropical wyverns, the crystal ones. So you'll see some flying around. If you grab some crystals, you can then go ahead and passive tame them. So it does make it easy if you're trying to get some early wyverns. They're not the best wyverns by any means, but they're decent wyverns nonetheless. You can also find and put water tames in a bunch of these little areas here. I have found quite a few. However, the only problem is, which why I'm not going to recommend any, is for some reason, I think it's a bug, but even though I built the pen up properly, I still have manta ray sharks and jellyfish spawning in, even though there should be no reason why. So yeah, hopefully that's just a bug, but there are quite a lot of like deep little sections in here that you can store all your water tames in. But yeah, at this time, I've just got 1,000 enemy creatures just spawning there, so I won't show any. Now, the last thing as well is that there are quite a few artifacts as well that you can easily access. The water ones are quite near you as well, and then you've got the desert ones over there, and you've also got the Bloodfall one over there, so pretty well easy access to things. So the third location I recommend is in the Bloodfall Hollow. Here I am on the map, and here is my GPS coordinates. Now, the reason I chose the spot here is because it's predominantly flat, so it does make it easier for base building. But what is quite useful about this location is, one, it's near a blood crystal wyvern spawn. So right there in that little section that we're looking at right now, you can find some blood crystal wyverns. So that does make it a little bit easier if you want to get a few of them. This place is great for getting the crystal needed to tame those guys, which is actually helpful. You'll also find in this little bottom part of the swamp that we're looking at right now, you'll find plant X seeds and you'll plant Z seeds, which is also nice. You've got easy access to an artifact, which is located in that cave that I'm looking at right now. And what's also good is on the other side of that cave, there's a little bit of a system right here, I'll go all the way down, where you can find a buttload of metal and a buttload of crystal, which does make it easier to start off. And on top of that, what's really cool about this spot, and I like the most, is that in this little lake here, you will find a buttload of gas veins. So you are basically pretty well close to an artifact, bunch of resource locations, and easy access to an early wyvern tame. Now with that being said, let me just give you a quick overview of where we are. So there we are. We're near the green obelisk. There you go, there's the map. We're near the white shoals as well, which is pretty handy. And there's the obelisk, and there is the base location. Alright, so the next one is in the plains. Now the one that I've chosen specifically is here on the map and in the GPS coordinates. Now there is quite a lot of other nice base locations within this vicinity as well with a good amount of resources, but the main reason why I chose this one is here because it's nice and flat. And what's really good is in this lake here, obviously easy access to water, but it also has plant X seeds. It also has obsidian, Cecilia pearls, crystals, and metal within this lake, as well as it also has fish in there as well. So easy pickings for food if you're really desperate. And then obviously when you eventually get like a Rex or something, there's also a lot of creatures around here that you can slaughter for food, and then there's just more resources within the area. I've also found alpha creatures like to spawn a lot in the plains too, so if you are doing stuff with alpha creatures, like, you know, upgrading your chibis and all that, you can find a good amount within this area. So the next location I choose is in the snow biome. So here we are on the map, and here's the GPS coordinates. Now, the main reason I chose this spot in particular is because it's basically pretty flat, so it will help you build your base location. Now, in terms of resources, you've got a bit of metal over there and crystal where I'm looking at, as well as you've got the ice cave over here with a bunch more resources, metal and crystal. As well as what's really cool about this spot is you're pretty close to one of the underwater caves, which not only has a bunch of oil veins in it, but also has an artifact. And you're also close to the artifact that's strong and another artifact over there, which is pretty useful. Also, you have the obelisk, which is right here, 2 charge stations below it, and also right where we're looking right now is also a massive area where oil veins live. So this area, in my opinion, is one of the good locations in the snowy biome. Alright, my next spot is in the Ember 4 location. So here we are on the map, and here is the GPS coordinates. Now, the main reason why I chose this location, mainly for the fact that it's quite flat, so it's easy for base building. On top of that as well, is it's pretty well good for the resources. So as you can see, we've got quite a lot of wood around, there's water, we have an obelisk right next to us, so it makes it easier for transporting wise. And also, here's the volcano. Now what's cool is on the volcano is a charge station, so you can go ahead and do all your batteries or making elements. But what I really like most about this spot is, so that's where the base is right now, right? Now if you make your way forward just a little bit over here to this lava lake, what's really cool is along this entire lava lake is metal, obsidian, and red gems, which makes your life so much easier getting those later resources early on. Also, these trees as well give you charcoal, so it makes it really good for ammunition. And what's really also, what I like most about this place is you're right next to the swamp. Now, the swamp is really good because it has gas veins over there. It also has a bunch of artifacts over there as well. You're also close to the desert, which has artifacts as well. So you're basically pretty well off in this location. You've got decent amount of resources around you, and you've got artifact locations. So overall, I do highly recommend this as one of your go-to spawns. Alright, so the next location I recommend is located here in the Floating Isles biome. So here we are on the map location, and here is the GPS coordinates. Now, there's a few reasons why I chose this base over the other ones. Mainly because around the entire, like, outside of it, it's decently flat, so you can actually build a base with relative ease. It also has a good amount of resources on it. So, first of all, you got access to water, and as well as in the lake as well, you will find metal, not a lot, but a small amount, as well as a small amount of silica pearls as well, so that will help as well getting that type of resource. On top of that as well, it's also got crystal spawning on this island, and it also has the plants that when you harvest them can give you plant X seeds, so that makes it easy for a defense wise. Now overall as well, that this is actually an isolated island, as you can pretty well see here. So in terms of a PvP aspect, I guess it would be pretty well good for fighting off people because they would need to fly to your base. But in terms of where everything else is, so that is the rest of the Floating Isles. Now, there is one more thing as well, is that just over yonder, over there, middle of the Floating Isles, is the artifact, so you are decently close to that artifact as well. Alright, so for the desert biome, I recommend this location here on the map and the GPS coordinates. Now, the main reason why I chose this area here is for a few things. First of all, one, you are right next to the Griffin Trench, so if you did want to go tame some griffins, you can, and they also do have quite a few resources in there. Second of all, you've got an artifact here, and you've also got 2 other artifacts over here as well, and another one just over yonder, over there. And what's also really good is that this place also has a nice large area for a water pen. Now, it is very deep and a lot of deadly creatures are in this area, but if you can manage to clear it out, it is a great place for water creatures. It's really big. You're also right next to the white shoals, and the Blood Fall area as well, which is not only great amount of resources in them, but they also have access to some of the easier wyverns, and they've also got artifacts there themselves, so it does make it pretty well useful being in this one spot. But before we end up here, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of where we are on the map so you can see. But yeah, if you can make it over here, I definitely recommend this would be my go-to spot if I moved to the desert. Alright, so for the redwood biome, this is the area I recommend. Here is the map, and here is the GPS coordinates. Now, the reason why I choose this location, it's not really flat, sadly, but what's great about this area is a couple things. First of all, one, good easy access to water and easy killings of fish for resources. Two, you also are quite close to a good amount of green gems, which is over there on the little hilly parts. You've got plant X seeds right here as well. On top of that, if we go up just a little bit, whoop, so there we are. That's where you would want to build in that little riverbank area. But what's really cool is literally right over here, I'm just going to move over, that is the bee cave right there. Now, what's great about the bee cave is a couple of things. First of all, one, there is artifacts in that cave. There is also underwater oil veins. So really good if you can get those oil veins. They're somewhat close to the surface of the cave. So once you go into the water, it's pretty well close. So easy access to water, oil right there. And easy access to honey as well. As well as you're not too far away from the artifact, which is located right there. So overall, this place, in my opinion, that little lakey section is the best place to build in the redwoods. Yeah, just for those reasons alone. So for my final base recommendation, I recommend here in the swampy section of the map. Here you are, here's the map and the GPS coordinates. Now, the main reason why I choose this area is it's somewhat decently flat, so it does make building here pretty easy. Second of all, it does have access to most of the basic amount of resources, wood, fiber, and all that. You've also got easy access to water, if need be. On top of that, if we go up, so there's the base right below us, right in that little section that we're looking at right now is a little bit of a swamp section. It's got a few caprosuchuses, so it's a bit dangerous, but it is overflowing with frogs, and also has access to plant X seeds over there. You've also got over here, I'll just trail over, so base, coming over here. And in this little section here, again, it is a dangerous area, but what's really useful is you've got 2 gas veins located right here, and you've got also access to red gems. So overall, in my opinion, this is one of the good locations. Now, also, you've got artifact locations in the middle of the map, and you have an artifact at the end, as well as you're not decently too far away from the floating isles one as well, so pretty good access in terms of artifact locations. Anyway, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching my top 10 opinions on where the base locations are in Crystal Isle. If you think you have a better base location or have any other recommended locations, do let me know in the comment section down below and tell me why you think that base location is the best, and if possible, the GPS locations, so we can all know where this awesome spot is. With that being said, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.